Yes, it is going live now.
Mama.
You can start, Hisham.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Ibrahim. Give me a minute. Okay, Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to this interview. This is for Model United Nations. My name is Hisham Khan, and today we have Ibrahim with us. He has also gone on his own MUN journey. But before we go into everything, let us start with just what MUN is. So, Ibrahim, you have anything to start with?
Yeah, so MUN is Model United Nations. It's a simulation of the UN,
What
and
is
it's a
it?
wonderful experience. It helps in increasing your public speaking skills. You make connections, networking. It's a very fun experience.
Okay, and what did you do in the MUN? Like, can you give us an experience that you went through?
So my journey started in 2021, I believe. I attended a online conference in Dubai called Diamond. From there, I went on and I participated in my school's MUN. And during that, I won two awards. Then I went on to the first student-led conference in Saudi called Crisis MUN. Went there. That was a wonderful experience. Really, that's what opened up my journey and started my journey. Uh, Won a few awards after that, and I was approached by the founder of Crisis MUN. His name is Abdullah Al-Adani, to join the Saudi MUN Association, which is an association that overlooks almost all major conferences in Saudi.
Wow.
And we then support in regulating and quality control of those conferences. So currently, I'm presiding as the president of the Saudi MUN Association,
Okay.
and in short, that's what my journey has been.
So, first of all, congratulations on your achievements in this particular field. I mean, I started MUN last year. So far, I've only been through one conference, gotten one certificate. Um, I also understand you've been to Greece for MUN. That's what was told.
It wasn't exactly for MUN. We got the opportunity after a woman contacted us. So, like I mentioned before, Abdullah Al-Adani, he went on a podcast. That podcast is called Booming with Banna. It is also led by a student. He went on that podcast, and this woman, her name is Shannon. She works in Riyadh for Saudi Arabia. She does architecture and stuff like that. And she thought what we were doing was very impressive at our age, and she wanted us to come to an event in Greece in Athens called the IdeaGen 2030 Impact Global Summit, which takes
Okay.
place every year, and it's hosted by a organization called IdeaGen, who focus on the UN SDGs. So that's how it's related to what we do at SMA, at the Saudi Immune Association. So it's linked together because MUN is a simulation of United Nations, and what IdeaGen does is it focuses on the UN SDGs. So
Okay.
I had the opportunity to speak in Athens, and yeah, it was a wonderful experience as well.
Okay. Let's go into something a bit more basic. Can you tell us what exactly is MUN? I mean, what do you do in MUN? Because many people have a misconception when it comes to it. They don't really know what it is or how it functions, I guess, in schools mostly.
Right. So MUNs, like I said, is Model United Nations, and in the name, it is a model of the United Nations. It is a simulation where multiple people come together as delegates, and they then are representing nations.
Yeah.
So there are different committees. I'm sorry. There are different committees in the UN. There's the First General Assembly. There's the Security Council. There's the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. There are many more committees. So delegates then come together, they represent nations in these committees, and then they work towards solving global issues. So that is what MUNs in a nutshell is. Uh, but it goes deeper than that because as a delegate, you're then debating, you're enhancing your public speaking skills, you are becoming more independent in a way because you're learning how to act by yourself. You learn more about politics, what goes around in the world. So it's an extracurricular activity that not only that's not only good for universities when you're applying, but it also sets you up when it comes to just personal skills.
Okay, and your first MUN conference, which you said was online in Dubai, how
Yes,
was
yeah.
that? How was your experience? What did you do, or which country did you represent, and so on?
So in Diamond, in the first conference I attended, we didn't have nations given to us. We weren't representing nations, we were representing ourselves. So
Okay,
in MUN, what happens is sometimes when you have younger grades or younger students that are in MUN, you have something called a youth assembly. So a youth assembly is somewhat like the General Assembly, but usually in some conferences, what they do is instead of having a nation that you're representing yourself. So you'd be the delegate of Ibrahim, or you would be the delegate of Hisham. So that's how it goes. Uh, I'll be very honest. In my first experience, I was very shy. I didn't know
okay,
what to do.
yeah.
It was a bit overwhelming, but it opened my eyes to how good MUN can be. And soon when I attended more conferences, when I got out of my shell, I got a bit of confidence. I
Okay.
started progressing in MUNs, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Was there ever a moment in your MUN experience where you had to maybe think very quickly, have to come up with a solution really quickly? In my first MUN conference, which is the only one I've been to, there was a random crisis event that they added in
Yeah.
just as icebreaker, I guess. So there we had to come up with a solution really quickly for their given crisis. Anything like that for you?
Yeah, so look, MUNs is all about acting on your feet, being ready for whatever comes. When you're on that podium, you never know what the other delegate is going to ask you. Maybe it's a question that you're prepared for, maybe it's a question that you're not prepared for. You never know.
Yeah.
So MUN, one of the key things that it really gives you or it refines is your ability to improvise. So when you're on that podium, you don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, you can write down your speech, you can write down potential questions that they might ask, but sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes they ask you something that you're not ready for at all, and it comes off as a surprise. And some delegates, the good delegates, don't struggle with that. They know how to improvise, they know what to do, but some others do. And it is a learning block because you do use that experience to learn and you progress.
Okay. And how did MUN help you understand different aspects of, let's say, politics or something for someone where most people who start MUN start out in maybe grade 9. So, like, you're pretty young, you don't really know much about politics.
Yeah.
How did you come to understand, or how did you perceive it after your first MUN, or maybe second or third MUN session?
So look, everyone is entitled to their own opinions. Everyone perceives politics in a different way. I know many people who are very into MUNs. They go into every conference that they can attend. They've been awards, but they have no interest in politics whatsoever. And then you have some other people who are really interested in politics going into. I know a guy. His name is Khalid Al Khwaitar. He He's a very very good delegate, and he is now studying political sciences in university. So
Okay.
some people use MUN as a pathway to a career that they might choose. So everyone has a different way of perceiving politics. For me, there's some things that I'm more interested about than others, but it's very interesting. Politics is something that is hard to really understand sometimes because there's so many intricate details that people don't really know. But for me, I think I'm in the middle. Sometimes I'm interested, sometimes I'm not.
Okay, and again, when you're interacting with other people, it's also important to have some shred of a balance in your talking. So, how do you manage to keep that balance during your conversations? It can get a bit intense also when you're discussing with some people. Um,
During the session or outside of the session?
During the session.
Yeah, well, obviously, look, there are in a committee there are different types of caucuses. A caucus
Yeah.
is how there's a unmoderated caucus, there's a moderated caucus, and there's a semi-moderated caucus. In an unmoderated caucus, you're allowed to speak whenever you want. In a moderated caucus, you're only allowed to speak if you're recognized by your chair. So, uh, look, it can get intense, but once again, people who can improvise, people who know what they're talking about, who've done their research, they don't break.
Okay, so let's talk about as though we're advising someone who's just joining MUN or who's considering joining MUN. What sort of points would you want to give them? What sort of tips or advice would you want to give them?
Enjoy it because it in the heat of the moment it seems very overwhelming. You seem like, what am I doing here? There's so many people. Can I go up on the podium? Can I talk? But enjoy it. It's a lovely experience. It's something you're going to cherish for a long time to come. Uh, be yourself. Be confident. Uh, when I went into my first conference, I spoke a bit, and sometimes what I was speaking might not have been true. I was just speaking whatever came to me, and that's probably not the right thing to do. But look, when you're on that podium, it gets scary, but you have to build up the courage, you have to build up the confidence to go up there and speak. Because over time, you will build confidence and you will be more interested in going up there and speaking.
Okay. And what do you think is the most valuable skill or lesson that you've taken away from your MUN experiences?
I think it would be the confidence that I have when I'm speaking to someone, uh, if someone comes up to me, I think I'm a very open person. I'm ready to hold conversation with you, have a conversation with you about whatever it is. And I think I can attribute that back to MUNs and what that has done, because it paved the way for me to become a more social person, for me to be a bit more confident when I'm speaking to someone. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay. And anywhere you think that MUN could improve or be, sorry, one second. Okay, sorry. Anywhere you think that MUN could improve or be more impactful for a student? I mean, most colleges in USA or Canada, they look at clubs or extracurriculars like MUN as a very good extracurricular, something that
Yeah.
really sets you apart from most people. Anything that you think should improve in MUN so that that can be further recognized or further accepted by colleges?
By the student or
And by the students, by the people who organize the sessions, anything that you think can be changed? Because as I understand it, there are some people who are planning to join MUN and might have a chance to change stuff. Because even in my school, I have the chance of heading up the MUN or maybe starting my own MUN club over there. So, any advice that you could give?
look, from what I know about applying to colleges or universities, they love people who take initiative. And that doesn't just have to be an MUN. You could take initiative by starting an organization on something you love. Let's say you love medicine. You want to study medicine, you want to have a career in medicine. You could start up a club. you could start a club about that brings together students who have the same interests as you, who want to go into medicine, and you guys have a weekly meeting where you discuss your ideas and whatnot, and you bring in that group or in that club, you bring material to read. So taking initiative, whether that's in MUNs or not, is something that, from my understanding, is something that universities love to see. So
Okay.
if you have the opportunity, I'd say go for it. Make an MUN club. It's a great opportunity. There are many people here that in the MUN community who have started up their own MUNs, student-led conferences, and that's once again that's taking initiative. And the confidence to take initiatives also is something that you can learn in MUNs that you can build in MUN conferences.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ibrahim. Anything else you'd like to add before we go towards questions from people in the audience?
No, I think I've covered everything.
Okay, anyone has a question, you can raise your hand and I'll unmute you. Okay, there don't seem to be any more questions or any questions at all. Hold on. Okay. Thank you very much, Ibrahim, for agreeing to this. It was a short podcast or short interview. I think people can get to know what MUN actually is. Okay, we have a
100%
question.
definitely.
Oh,
Ibrahim, can you tell me that was like the right age to start participating in MUNs?
I think the voice
what
got a bit
is
static, but I think what she's
what is the
asking
right
is,
age
yeah.
to start MUN?
So look,
Ibrahim, can you hear
uh,
me?
yeah, we got the question. I think the best age to start would be around grade 7, grade 8. So I think it'd be 13, 14, around that age. I think that's a great time to start. It gives you time to progress in your MUN journey. And yeah, I think grade 7 to 8, 13 to 14, usually that's when schools allow you to
Okay,
participate in
I think
MUNs.
Anjum wants to add something.
Yes, there's a question in the chat. How can we be a part of MUN?
So, you'll see a lot of MUN accounts
Okay,
popping up
thank you, Ibrahim. I
on.
think Anjum want to ask something.
Yeah, we've seen the question in the chat. How can we be a part of MUN?
Yeah, so you can probably join MUN through your school. Your school might have a MUN conference. Uh, if you don't, I would love to get in touch with you. We can, as the Saudi MUN Association, I would love to go and go to your school. Maybe we can have some sort of partnership there because that's what the SMA does. We partner with conferences to provide better services to the conference. So another thing we also do is we provide courses. So courses to learn how to become a delegate, how to become a chair. So please, if your school doesn't have that, may feel free to message me on WhatsApp, and I'd love to see what we can do. But if your school doesn't have an MEN conference, I'm sure you'll be able to find many on Instagram. There are many accounts popping up of student-led conferences or school-led conferences. So I think the next one, the nearest conference is most probably going to be uh, JKS, I think. So Jeddah Knowledge International School. They have an MEN coming up. JKS is actually the first ever school in Jeddah to host a MUN. So their conference is regarded as a very prestigious conference. So if you
There
have the
was
chance,
also actually there was an MUN conference I attended in Jeddah, which was in Manara, Jeddah,
MJIS, yeah,
MJIS. Yeah, so
it was their first one. Uh,
okay,
yeah. So yeah, there are many conferences that pop up.
okay,
Go on Instagram, you can find them there, or yeah, go to your student, your school counselor, your activities counselor.
Okay, and we have
And
one more question. Can we join as outsiders in JKS?
yeah, you definitely can. You can apply either through your school or yourself. By yourself, you can fill out the
Okay.
application form, and you can definitely apply.
And do you think there'll be any sort of fees or something like that for people to join?
Yeah, there is always a fee involved. Usually
Okay.
it's around 200, 250 reals, maybe sometimes less. But yeah, that's the price.
Okay, and one more question. How will MUN help kids in future for their careers?
So like I said, you can use MUN to start off your career if you're interested in going into politics. You can do your major in political sciences. Then you can start off your journey with MUN. I know many people have done that who graduated last year and are studying political science. If not, MUN still provides you with a lot of great skills such as public speaking, building up the confidence to go up and speak, uh, being able to improvise on the spot. So there are many things.
So you'd say even if your career isn't in the direction that MUN can help you with it, even then you should
Yeah,
just join MUN as
there's so many benefits to
yeah.
going into MUN. Yeah,
Okay. Okay, any more questions?
Ibrahim, can you just explain that how many days usually the MUN lasts? Like sometimes it's 2 days, sometimes mostly it's 3 days, right?
yeah. Mostly it is 3 days. Sometimes some conferences host 2 day conferences, but the majority will be 3 days.
Okay. If
Okay.
someone is a newcomer and they're schooled, like they don't have any experience, like asked earlier here. So is there any like a email address or something you can provide so they can contact and they can join JKSMUN on their own as an individual participant?
I think they'll be releasing their application soon. You can check that out through their Instagram. I don't think they have a specific email, but
Okay.
usually it's through Instagram,
Okay.
and
Thank
you
you.
apply through Google Forms. Yeah,
Hmm. So you said that if anyone wants to organize an MUN to contact you, do you mind sharing your number somewhere so we can
sure.
I'll
I'll
put
put
it
it in
up
the
on
chat now.
the YouTube or something, yeah.
I'll put it on the chat now.
Okay, and we'll try to share this on WhatsApp also on the Parrho
Perfect.
and Parrhao group. Are there any more questions, or I think we can end it now? Okay.
Mm, yeah, I think if
Uh,
there's no any other questions, you can end the meeting.
all right. Thanks a lot, Ibrahim, for taking the time to join us.
Well, thanks for
And
having me.
it's no problem. And thank you, Parho and Parrhao, for allowing us to do this on their YouTube again for the third episode. And I think that's it.
All right.
Take
Thank you
care.
very much.
Welcome.
Bye bye.
Assalamu alaikum.